Hello all, my name is Yossi and this is my first YouTube video of this type. I have no idea how many videos like this I will make, but this one is about something that I feel is very lacking on YouTube. I plan on keeping this and all future videos short and as to the point as possible. While 5 or 6 minute videos aren't long enough to cover this entire subject, I do hope to provide a reasonable bird's eye view. The basis for this video is from two main sources. The first is a lecture by Professor Uriel Simon, the former head of the Bible department at Bar-Ilan University. This particular lecture is only available online in Hebrew, yet I feel so strongly about the subject that I feel its message must be heard. The second source is the book Darkei HaAgada by Yitzhak Heinemann. It's a basic text for understanding the constructs of the biblical story, both Pshat and Drash. Now, it's not because this message is complex or deep. On the contrary, the idea presented is quite simple, but unfortunately, this idea is so simple and fundamental that it is often overlooked. Professor Simon's lecture is called Pshat and Drash, Shtei Ktarim v'Shtei Melachim, which translates roughly as Pshat and Drash, two kings with two crowns. And I highly recommend that you listen to the original. For those unfamiliar with the terms Pshat and Drash, Pshat means the simple meaning of the text. Drash, or Midrash, is a body of rabbinical explanation of the Tanach, the Hebrew Bible, or what Christians call the Old Testament. This explanation may try to fill in the gaps in the biblical narrative, or may try to teach a lesson from that narrative. Pshat, as I said, is the simple meaning of the text. It's the police report. When we read the biblical text, we try to understand exactly what the text is saying, just like a policeman wants to know the exact situation of, say, a car accident. The policeman will measure the distances, will ask witnesses, see what they saw, note the weather conditions, the road conditions, the time of day, etc. The basic facts. The policeman will then take these facts and reconstruct as accurately as possible what led up to the accident. Drash, on the other hand, is not bound by the facts. Drash, unlike Pshat, is not bound by the exact time. It's not even bound by vocabulary. It's perfectly legitimate for the darshan, the one writing the drash, to, for example, change the words of the biblical text. The reason for this is because Pshat and Drash differ. Pshat, as I said, is the simple meaning. It is objective. We want to know exactly what happened. Drash, on the other hand, wants to teach us something from or about the text. Drash is subjective. It is how the text is related to us. The example that Professor Simon gives in his lecture is as follows. There was, God forbid, an accident in Jerusalem. A young girl was hit by a bus. The news of the terrible accident is reported on the radio. The police collect all of the information. It's their job in order to know exactly what happened. They are the Pshat people. In the meantime, somewhere in the city, a young girl arrives home. Her grandfather meets her at the door and exclaims, "Did you hear what happened? It was a terrible accident. A girl was walking down the street playing with her smartphone and was run over by a bus because she was not paying attention." There was nothing in the news about why that girl was hit by the bus, but the girl's grandfather used the accident to try and teach his granddaughter a lesson. Don't play with your cell phone while you're crossing the street. Note, Grandpa changed the news report. He added to it. Yet it is perfectly legitimate for him to do so because he is not the policeman bound by the facts. He wants to teach a lesson, and that is absolutely a legitimate thing to do. A couple points before I finish. While it is okay for the darshan to change the facts, it is not okay to say that those changes are the facts. When dealing with the biblical text, that would be blasphemous. Point number 2. Saying that a bad translation is the same as or a kind of midrash is also not okay. All that a bad translation really is a distortion of the pshat. It's bad pshat. The current situation in many circles both Jewish and Christian, is that the Drash has taken place of the Pshat. As opposed to paying attention to the simple meaning of the text, in all of its incredible richness, the Pshat is looked at as some poor cousin to the real meaning, the Drash. That is nothing less than a theological crime. In conclusion, both Pshat and Drash have their places. Both of them are wonderful kings, and both of them deserve their own crowns. Learning to differentiate between them is a must if you want to learn how to properly understand the biblical text. Thank you, Kol Tuv, and God bless.